Are you ready to talk MSPT? Because this is episode 12 of the MSPT podcast presented by PokerNews. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Kyna England. Kyna, last episode I said I have a good feeling you're going to do pretty well in Colorado, and lo and behold, you finished second.
I know, I did do pretty well, huh? Oh man, I really thought I was going to win the whole thing too, but it was a good battle. We battled heads up for a little while and it went so late. I don't think I got out of there until 1:30, but hey, second place, first loser, I'll take it. No big deal.
Well, we're going to talk all kinds of things. We're going to wrap up the Sycuan stop that took place in San Diego. We're going to look ahead to Talking Stick because we're recording this. I'm flying out in about, 10 hours from now. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to see you in Arizona. We're going to do some stuff on the ground. The stop is already underway. The main event will be this weekend, so we're very excited about that. We'll catch up on the Player of the Year race, where that currently stands. And then I have an interview with two, we'll call them Arizona legends. Stephen Jones, who is on the Poker News podcast. You might know him. Remember, he was on Squid Game, The Challenge, Season 2. I don't know if you watched that.
Oh yeah, I watched it, and I know Steve pretty well. I mean, we played the WPT main. We were at the same table. I was watching all of Squid Games, and I was messaging him on Instagram, asking him questions about it. So I know him. It's funny though too when you think of that Arizona Talking Stick stop, you think of Ryan Stiner and Steve. So funny. I'm glad they were able to do an interview though. Excited to see it.
Yeah, Ryan Stiner has done 2 Arizona State Poker Championship titles to his name, I think in 2021, 2022. I think he's also the property's all-time money leader. So they do a fun fantasy competition, and they're doing it around the MSPT Diamond Championship. So more on that a little bit later. But let's just start with you, kind of, because I was glued to the updates on MSPTpoker.com. First I was living vicariously through you when you arrived in Colorado. You got a car, you went there. I know you hit the slots the first night because
Of course.
Did you win on the slots?
Yes, I won on the slots. I walked into my hotel at 10 p.m. I was hungry. I needed to get something to eat, but I spotted the machines I really like, the Buffalo machines I like, all right when I walked in. I'm like, okay. So got something to eat really quick, and I parked there for a couple hours. I won, and then we had Saturday off. Me and DJ went around and hunted some slots on Saturday too. So won a little bit on the slots, won a lot of bit in the poker. Thanks a lot, Blackhawk.
You ended up bagging on day 1B then. Is that right?
Yeah. So I played Friday. I got in, I was going to try and explore a little because last time I was at Blackhawk, there's some fun other casinos. There's a lot of shops and stuff. And so I got up, I had some breakfast and I went outside. I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk around. And I got out there and it was 18 degrees and this is the warmest thing that I have. And I was like, nope, and just walked right back inside. And I think I hung out with DJ for an hour and then I just went ahead and played. And yeah, it was a long day. I just don't have it in me anymore, I don't think, to play such long days. So I'm glad I bagged day 1B and then I had the day off on Saturday and then ended up playing all day again on Sunday. So yeah.
Yeah, I messaged you actually before I started play saying good luck. When are you heading back to Vegas? And you're like, oh, I got my flight till 10 p.m. And so as I was reading the update, it's like, oh, she's not getting back home tonight.
Well, yeah, and it started to crazy snow too, and they didn't really call for snow there when I was looking at the weather before, and it was probably just even pretty dangerous. Even if I had finished at 6 or 7, it might have been a little dangerous to drive back then. So around dinner break, I think, which was at 7. I moved my flight to the next day and took a morning flight home. But even that took forever because of the snow and getting down the mountain. So, yeah, it was very exhausting trip, but for sure worth it and so much fun. I met a lot of really cool people. I'll let you go ahead and talk more about the stop maybe and then get into some of my stories.
Yeah, so there was 528 runners in this one, over $500,000 in the prize pool, an $1,110 buy-in, of course. 59 players returned to day 2 on Sunday. Like you said, long day, more than 12 hours of play, and it was a pretty interesting final table because there was 3 of you going for a second MSPT title, including Faraz Jaka, who won the same event 1 year ago. He ended up finishing in 3rd. What was it? Faraz is a really tough player, really accomplished player. That must have been tough.
Yeah, it was. And the final table was no joke. I went in, I think 4th in chips and just couldn't find spots. I dwindled down. It was a lot of short stacks doubling up, a lot of battles. Faraz was directly on my left. It was just kind of caught a lot of a run. I was down to something 5 big blinds and then I caught a run and I had about Faraz had about half the chips in play at the final table. And then I had about half as many as him. So I was kind of like trying to just stay out of his way. I think I was just kind of trying to make those pay jumps. And like, I was like, all right, we'll not play until this, is appropriate. And sort of, just kind of tried to navigate it. He was tough. He's tough to navigate. He knows what he's doing. He's very scary, very aggressive. So, but it was great learning spot. And it wasn't a super easy final table. Like you said, Justin was there going for he won in Sycuan, trying to get his second title. Vinny's very good player. The other guys were super nice, aggressive players. And yeah, it was fun to navigate. Not easy though, I wouldn't say.
Justin Lynch finished in fourth for almost $36,000, and Vinny Moscati taking it down for 107K. You finished runner up for 66K. You both seemed like the chips were flying. Like I was doing updates and like people were hitting river cards, like you said. So like it seemed like everybody had their chance to kind of win, so to speak. But you hit a little heater, it seemed like, in the middle of the final table. You scored some eliminations. I'm like, ooh, she's chipped up.
Yeah.
And you did have the chip lead for a little bit heads up, and then it just seemed like the pendulum swung back in Vinny's favor.
Yeah, he was, it's heads up. I like heads up because it's not just like straight up how you play. I think you have to navigate the other person's style. And he was doing that to me and I was doing that to him. So we're trying to like adapt to each other. And we were just having fun too. Like I had Vinny get a drink. So he's like drinking whiskey. I'm drinking wine. We've got like some friends there sweating. Antonio Vargas, who had won one of the side events while we were there, he was sweating too. He kept saying like, Colorado needs to keep the trophy. So I think we battled for about like 2.5 levels heads up. And then I made an oopsie and when I was doing it, I knew it was an oopsie, but it is what it is. He's like such a nice guy too. He's got some kids, some girls that he kept calling on break. And I think the cutest thing was that he said his daughter, I guess he called or was FaceTiming, and he showed them the final table picture. And she was like, who's that lady in front of you? And he's like, oh, she's one of the ladies in the event. And she's like, I like her shirt a lot. And my shirt had like witches on it. And he's like, oh, my daughter's really into witches and Halloween and everything. And I'm like, well, if I win this tournament, I will buy her one of these shirts. And he's like, when you don't win the tournament, I'll buy her one. So you better do it. You better buy the shirt, Vinny.
One thing I know you texted me about, and we'll talk about him. His name is Ding Sung. Ding Win goes by Sun, so Sun Win finished 15th for almost $6,000. You mentioned that you got to know him during the tournament, and I wanted to talk about a little mission that he does, an animal rescue.
Yeah, so he, I guess, is a local legend there, like a reg, and they know him and they call him Sun Run. So I guess he's a lucky guy, and I saw it. He was pretty lucky. The whole time I played with him, he was very short, and I think I got moved to his table with like 25. It was the redraw, so it would have been at 27. He was very short the whole time, and he just kept finding the right spot. And I was chit chatting with him, and he told me that his wife runs a local rescue. It's because he kept saying, "Oh, it was snowing." He's like, "Oh, the farm. Oh, they're gonna have to turn on the heaters at the farm." And he said his wife owns a farm animal rescue somewhere in Denver. I don't know what city it is. It'll be on that website. Said it's called Roscoe's Rescue. He was showing me pictures of it. They have a TikTok account for one of their pigs. It was so cute. He was showing me all the stuff. And, at that point in time, I think there were 25 left. And so we had all made like $4,000. And I was just feeling charitable. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like I hadn't made any donations yet this year. I'm like, I'll give 5% of whatever I win to your charity because it's a registered nonprofit organization. They have a .org site. So that ended up being quite a bit. But I'm going to do it. I already reached out to him. I got the website. So we'll put the website maybe in the link too. If you guys want to check it out and donate, all the money goes to just run the farm and, take care of the rescue animals. So great mission.
I checked out their website. It is Roscoe's Rescue CO, as in Colorado. So roscoesrescueco.org. Link to it in the show notes. Check it out. You can donate, meet the crew. They got events, merchandise, all that stuff. So I just think that's really cool that you met somebody. Like that's one of the great things about poker. You never know who you're going to play with. That's why I'm always a fan of like talking at the table because you can make those connections.
Exactly. And he seemed like a nice guy. He was doing really well. And so I think, what did he finish? 15th. So it was like short. When I first started talking to him, like I said, when I first started talking to him, we'd only won about $3,000, $4,000, and then he busts in 15th. So he got quite a nice payday too. And, I ended up getting second. So money for the barn animals.
There you go. There were 17 gold card events at the Bally's Blackhawk. Some side event winners. There was the $400 mini main, 853 runners. Was Danny Gonzalez for almost $55,000. A bunch of $200, $300 tournaments. I'll just run through some of the winners that took home gold cards. You had Eric Person, Ralph Bozeman, Leo Bernal, Caleb Durham, Zach Gutierrez took him down the ultimate stack, Josh Edgel, Aaron Thomas. That's a name I remember from my MSPT days when I used to travel and work
I
events
played
there.
with Aaron all day on day one. So like I joined his table and we were at the same table until the end together, sitting across from each other. So yeah, I got to know him quite well too. Nice guy.
Yeah. Derek Lindgren, Warren Rudman, Jason Lockman, Brennan Nagin, Jay Yates taking down the seniors event 50 plus for over $10,000. 212 runners in that one, so a big one.
Wow.
Eric Fenig, Vinny Moscati took down the main event as we talked about. Edward Apodaca, and as you mentioned, Antonio Vargas taking down the final event, event 17, a $300 ultimate stack. So big series there, and good trip for you, Kyna. I called it in the last episode. I said, I think you're going to get off to a hot start. You tend to do that on the MSPT.
Yeah, man, I can't. Man, winning two, that would have been so sick. But like I said, Vinny has a 1-1. He was such a nice guy. I guess they somebody in my chat referred to him as Handsome Vinny. Maybe that was his name back in the day. I mean, he's still quite handsome, but couldn't have been a nicer guy for sure. And we denied Faraz that back-to-back title. So. I'm pretty happy with it overall, and I'm excited for Talking Stick next week now. It's nice, like, I haven't been playing a whole lot of poker lately, and to be like, hey, look, I could still do it.
I am excited, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. I do want to wrap up the Golden State Poker Championship. Yeah, at Sycuan outside San Diego. We talked about it a little bit last episode because there were side events were going on, but we needed to wrap up the main event, $1,110, 265 runners. Zilong Zhang took it down for $54,000 after a three-way deal. Matt Salzberg, former WPT Player of the Year. He is very well known in the poker community. He is usually at the Sycuan stop. Another final table for him, finished in fifth for $17,000. It was his sixth final table appearance at Sycuan in the past 3 years, which I think is a pretty remarkable accomplishment.
Wow, crazy. And then Zhang, was he from the WSOP? That's that same Zhang that was crazy, or no?
I don't know.
Remember when he was on the main event final table and they're like, oh, this crazy guy. It might have been different. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Zhang, but it kind of looked like him. I don't know.
I mean, it does say that Zilong Zhang led the field at the return of day 2 of the WPT Prime Championship.
Oh, so, okay.
Well, actually, no. It says here, I'm just looking at a Google search, WSOP 2022, Zilong Zhang main event show. So I guess he was.
That was, and he was just playing real crazy and probably really hard to play against that guy. And so, not surprising that he went ahead and won one.
Yeah. I had a guest in last episode, Scott Olds. He had taken down the mini main event, and he won $23,000 for that. He wasn't done. He made a deep run in the main event. I think he finished in 24th place, and then jumps into another side event, takes down another tournament for $2,200, but it is his fourth MSPT gold card. So we have him jumping up the leaderboard and tying Michael Sterick, who is another one of the crushers at Sycuan and a friend of Scott Olds. Him taking that one down was, I don't know, pretty impressive. It was just like, remember, I was like, I'm gonna have this guy, Scott Olds, on the podcast, and that was before he won either of those events.
And then he went ahead one. So what an interview. That's great.
Yeah, right. A bunch of other winners. I can't remember where we left off. I'm sure we're gonna flash the results here and some of the winners' photos on screen. There was one guy named Happy Spalding, and I don't know. I like that name. It reminded me of like Happy Gilmore or something.
Yeah.
A tag team event there. Michael Souza and Rhonda Van Cree taking that one down. Not the Michael Souza from the
Game of Gold.
Yeah, the Game of Gold, exactly. A successful stop at Sycuan. And just to give you a quick, it's still so early in the season, but the season 17 Player of the Year race is underway now. And Kyna, you're sitting in third place.
I know. I saw that. Isn't that crazy? I think it's just because the Colorado stop was so much bigger than the California stop. So it's and the Venetian. It was the
Yeah,
biggest stop
because
so far, right? Because I have like the same as Matt Wampman, who actually won the Venetian stop. So,
that's right.
so Vinny's in the lead, huh?
Vinny has 1,600 points, and then you and Matt Wantman tied with 1,400 apiece. Faraz Jaka with 1,300. So yeah, I think because they did a four-way deal in the Sycuan, when you do
Oh,
that, that eliminates the play. Like, I think it's the only top three can do a chop
yeah.
with the POI points involved. So
We didn't do any sort of deal. They didn't really facilitate deals there in Colorado. So,
yeah.
and I didn't, like I said, have room in my suitcase for that big old trophy anyway. I'll win one in Arizona when I can drive home with it.
Well, let's talk about Arizona because as soon as we're done recording this, I got to go get my laundry out of there. I got to
I'm doing
repack.
laundry too. I've got to pack again too. It's crazy. It's
I
such a
found
turnaround.
I found this hat while packing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wear it during the show, and I'm gonna bring it to the stop. You got the new logo. I got the old school one. I'm gonna bring a few other things to do some giveaways. We are both gonna drive down from Las Vegas,
Yep.
and I'm gonna be there all weekend, regardless, because I want to be there to hopefully interview the winner. We're gonna film some stuff, have some fun, but we're also both gonna play. I'm excited about it. I haven't played since the season 17 finale at Running Aces. You've got momentum on your side. It's going to be a huge stop. They're talking like 2,000, 2,500, maybe more runners,
Yeah,
which I
it's going
think
to
is
be
just going to
big.
be crazy.
I've talked to a lot of people out here in Vegas too who are going to go because they're going to make the trip in. It's not very long. And yeah, it's going to be a big one. 1 million guarantee. All of their tournaments, when they have their own event, even it gets like 3,000 runners. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I caught up with Ryan Stiner, who is very familiar with Talking Stick. He is the all-time money leader for tournament poker there, as well as Stephen Jones, who are good friends. They're playing all these events, and they always do during the Arizona State Poker Championship a fantasy competition on State Kings, where they each draft teams of six, five other players and themselves, and whoever wins the most money on their team, which is essentially the last player standing. If you make the final table, chances are you're going to win the most money for your team. But they have a little friendly rivalry on it, and they give fans like myself, anybody watching, listening, the opportunity to buy on State Kings. I think if you buy $100 worth and you choose the winning team, you get a $195 payout. So they are two guys who really
mhm.
love poker in Arizona. So I said, you know what? Let's get him on the MSPT podcast presented by Poker News. Here's my chat with Ryan Stiner, who goes by Stiner, and Stephen Jones. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am with two special guests on this episode of the MSPT podcast. Ryan Stiner goes by Stiner. We know him from his Arizona State Poker Championship wins in 2022, in 2023, and then 11th last year. He just a Talking Stick legend, the all-time leading money winner at Talking Stick. And then Stephen Jones, who you might recognize from the Poker News podcast about a month ago, but also from Squid Game The Challenge Season 2 and runner-up in the 2023 World Series of Poker main event. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You got it.
We're going to talk some fun stuff. We're going to talk a lot about the MSPT Diamond Poker Championship that is coming up at Talking Stick. And you guys are doing this special team showdown on State Kings, which is, I like it from a storytelling perspective, right? It gives me something to keep an eye on and content-wise. But for the listeners and the viewers, why don't you tell them what this MSPT Diamond Poker Championship team showdown on State Kings is all about?
Go ahead, Steiner.
Yeah, well, this is fourth or fifth time we've done this little fantasy challenge where him and I will both draft our fantasy teams. He picks a guy, pick a guy back and forth until we get a team of six. And so it's Team Jones versus Team Steiner. And I do believe, I think I'm either 2-1 or 3-1. So I definitely have the advantage thus far. But yeah, it's fun. It just adds a little a wrinkle. It adds a little bit of people can bid on it and bet on it. So it's fun having people come up to you and say, "Hey, I threw $50 on Team Steiner. Let's go." And it's like, "All right, let's go. Let's do this." So it adds a little bit.
And you're both on your own teams, correct? Like you guys count towards this?
Yeah. We like the rivalry, They're trying to take his crown because he keeps winning the Arizona State Championship. So it's time that, someone else has to do it now. We've done it for the Arizona State Championship every year. Now that the MSPT is here, we're like, hey, let's run it back, basically, because we don't get a lot of good tournaments in Arizona. But this one's going to be great. Just like the Arizona State Championship. Finally, we were getting like MSPT or somebody to come through there because it's such a great poker room. So very excited.
Yeah, this one should be huge. There's a lot of chatter. I was just at the MSPT stop in San Diego this last weekend, and a lot of folks talking about it. And then a lot of Vegas folks, when I was out there in December, a lot of them saying they're coming out here. So I think this should be pretty big.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm coming out. My co-host Kyna England is going to come down. I know Mike Holtz and Ben Ludlow from the Poker News podcast are coming down. It's going to be a massive stop. This is going to be a fun competition. So I believe it's just whoever's team wins the most money cumulatively, right? Is that how you determine the winner?
Yeah, I think, was it last year? Colton got he final tabled. Basically, if someone final tables it, your team's going to win pretty much, unless you have two people that got
Yeah, that year Colton saved me. Because he made the final table and he needed to finish like 8th or better. Like he as long as he didn't go out first, then I would have won. And he ended up getting 6th or 7th or 8th. He got what he needed to do. But this year you drafted Colton. You snaked him.
Yeah, I had to grab
Marley.
And yeah, we're pretty much, we're open to any challengers too. We pretty much just drafted people from Arizona because we know, okay, these guys are definitely going to play in the tournament. But if you got a crew coming from Vegas or Cali or wherever people got crews from, you can, pick up whoever you want and challenge us.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm looking at the teams right now. So Team Jones is you, Steven Jones, Jonah LeBranch, Kevin Kent, Colin Robinson, John Ciccarelli, if I pronounce that right, Colton Blomberg, Cicerelli. I've heard of a few of those names, but I'm definitely not familiar with them all. Whereas on Team Stiner, you got Ryan Stiner, Tyler Hancock, Brandon Mitchell, Ryan Hughes, Nick Papillo, and Jeremy Brown. I've heard of most of those guys. So, but those sound like two stacked teams for sure.
I went for a couple Arizona sleepers this year. So some more local guys, I guess.
Both teams are stacked.
Yeah,
it'll come down to the end. It'll come down to whoever final tables this thing. But yeah, it should be fun.
And what do you guys bet on it? I'm assuming you guys have a bet, but tell me about what's at stake when it comes to you guys personally.
Well, we always money on it on Stake Kings. I always bet money on it in Stake Kings, and then it's just a little rivalry, a little friendly rivalry that we have. We should do some kind of prop or something for the losing team. We definitely should talk about this.
We've never done a punishment or a prize.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always money. So yeah, there's definitely money between the two teams. And then what Stake Kings allows you to do is open it up to the public. So somebody looks at those teams and go, oh, okay, this team, that's who I think is going to win. I'm going to put $100 on them type thing. So the Stake Kings allows you to just open it up to the public betting.
Yeah, I think they said in a tweet that you can stake either team. $100 bet pays $195 if you end up with the winning team. So I'm going to probably put a bet on there. I haven't done one in a while, and I want a little extra sweat. I won't tell you guys which one. I don't want to choose one together.
We're going to twist your arm.
The smart money is Team Stiner because I am 3-1 against him. Like you said, I got some crushers in there, but
I'm just
going to money.
So where are you going
to money? You can bet on.
And I just win the tournament. You guys are screwed. So
that's true. There's also on Stake Kings there'll be a last longer. There's always a last longer.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
I don't know if one is active yet, but if it's not, it will be soon. We'll put one up there, and it'll be probably $500 to enter. And there's usually 20, 30, 40 people in it, so you got to go pretty deep in it to win it. But yeah, look for that last longer as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to get in on that, and it'll probably even be bigger this one with all the people coming from out of town, right? Coming down from Vegas, San Diego, as we mentioned. We're also gonna get a lot of people in the Midwest, like myself, that are the MSPT regulars, so to speak, that have never been there. There's an energy even out here of like, oh, talking stick. Like we've all heard of the Arizona State Poker Championship. We've seen the numbers that gets, but we've never been there. Here's the perfect opportunity.
Well, that's one of I saw a couple of the Minnesota folks, like the MSPT guys, out in San Diego, and they are definitely putting together a third team to challenge us. So any of the top like Minnesota guys, I'm sure you know all of them out there. So look for that.
I think a lot of you guys are gonna love Talking Stick, though. I mean, Arizona in general just has a lot to offer, and it's in such a good location, right in the heart of Scottsdale. Good dining, good spots to go out, great golf. So it's definitely a good spot for like a weekend trip / poker trip.
Yeah, give me the details in that regard. Like, I've never been there. What's something I should, know or do or even avoid, right? Like, some people say you got to try this restaurant or make sure you park here so you come into this door, et cetera, or don't do these things. Any tips for people like me who are kind of coming to Talking Stick to play for the first time?
I mean, as far as the casino goes, it's the parking's really easy. It's on a reservation, so there's plenty of parking, multiple parking garages. There's a couple good restaurants in there. But if you're looking for like nightlife, you got Old Town Scottsdale. If you're trying to go like clubbing, it's more of like it's a bit of a shit show. I'll say that. I'm probably too old for that, but and then there's like the arcade area, which is close to Scottsdale. You have more of like high end like lounges and stuff like that. And then as far as food, like we have so much food, I don't even know where to start. There's so many steakhouses and good restaurants that are just popping up everywhere in Scottsdale. I mean, within a 5 mile radius of the casino, you can pull up so much stuff. And then there's also Talking Stick golf course, so you can like literally golf right there, which is really nice. But I will say the people that are sports bettors, be mindful because we are on the reservation for the casino. So while you're at the reservation, you cannot sports bet unless you can do it at the casino, but you can't do it on your phone. And people always, they get in there, they don't realize that they want to put a bet in on their phone. Well, you can't because it's blocked out because we're actually on the reservation. So that's a little tip for everyone coming in.
Yeah, that's good. Stiner, is kind of a face of poker at Talking Stick, the all-time money leader. Any tips from you?
As far as like restaurants and whatnot, I mean, plenty of good food. The food in the room is great. And then restaurants, there's Orange Sky. There's another restaurant, Tosh. Those are the two that I frequent there.
Well, I mean, even what you just said there is a good tip that they have food in the room, right? There's a lot of poker players, a lot of rooms that don't, so players can plan accordingly. If they're like, oh, well, great, they've got food in the room, I don't have to worry about it.
Correct. Yeah, it's actually plenty good food.
Really good for poker room food. It's pretty solid.
Agree.
Solid. You can just eat right at the table, so it's kind of nice.
What about, like, obviously I'm going to plan on going deep in the MSPT Diamond Championship, but, if I find myself with some free time around the rail, cash game's pretty good down there at Talking Stick?
Steven's probably more of a cash game guy. I've gotten away out of the cash game streets lately, but there's definitely some good games.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of games running, especially with the tournament going on. I mean, for Hold'em, probably 10-20. There might even be quarter. Maybe that's probably the highest. Maybe there'll be 25-50, but anything below that too. 5-10, 3-5, 2-3. I mean, they literally have everything. And then PLO is actually getting pretty big in Arizona lately, so there will be plenty of PLO action too. Same stakes as well. And then there are obviously mixed games. We're a big state for mixed games. I'm not a mixed game player, but I've heard those games are really good too. So, I mean, what is there? 70 tables in there, Steiner? 69 tables in there?
69 tables.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at the beginning it'll be all for the tournaments, but later on Friday night as people bust, there going to be some good action for cash games as well.
Yeah,
agree.
I'm excited. I'm going to see you guys down there. I'm going to see your teams. I'm going to make sure that Anthony, the live reporter, is familiar with everybody. We'll get their pictures up. We'll try to see if he can keep track of the competition in the live blog that will be happening. There will still be time as people are watching this, as long as the event hasn't started, to go on StakeKings.com. I'll link to it in the show notes, where you can find the MSPT Diamond Poker Championship Team Showdown. There's still some available action, at least as we're recording this. In fact, I'm looking at it now, and it looks like Team Jones is selling a little bit better than Team Stiner at the moment.
It's usually how it goes. They know where the people are smart.
Though both teams will sell out. Like both teams will hit their goal. They always do, but
yeah, when they sell out, sometimes they'll add more. So hopefully I can buy enough.
True.
I put a little bit on there, but I think I might want to grab a little bit more, as we get closer here.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I am very much looking forward to seeing you down in Arizona. It's like literally 0 degrees where I'm at in Wisconsin. And so I know the weather is going to be nice. It's going to be like a vacation for me and a lot of the Midwest contingent. And Can't wait. And I'll ask you this as the outgoing question, just a prediction. What do you guys take for your prediction for the number? What's the turnout going to be in this MSPT Diamond Championship $1 million guarantee?
Yeah, what do you think, Steiner? I mean,
There's 3-day ones or 4-day ones? I think there's 3-day ones, right?
yeah, the AZ States was 4, so
4, and they hit like 3,500.
was it?
This last AZ State was like 3,500.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be over 2K. How late is registration open? I didn't look.
I'm looking right now. So one thing that's interesting too, by the way, which is very strange for MSPT in most poker tournaments, is it starts at 10:15 a.m. the day ones
Yes,
do.
welcome to Arizona. That is like truly an Arizona thing. We've been complaining about this for years. I think they did this the same for the AZ States. We get an older crowd, so we gotta accommodate everybody.
Well, late reg
Start them early.
will be open for 9 hours till 7:15 p.m. So
I'll take over 25. Probably 2,500 or so.
Probably
I'd say
25.
I'm right around there.
that's honestly, it would be incredible. Fingers crossed that it gets there more on it. I didn't know what to expect. I know for an MSPT, well, they are getting bigger and better, but like it took years for like the MSPT at Firekeepers in Michigan to get to where it's at. So if they can come in, hit a huge number right off the get-go on the first stop, that would just be awesome.
What is the record for the Michigan one? That one broke the record, right?
Oh, I'd have to look. I'm gonna just off the top of my head, I want to say it was between 3,000 and 3,500. I could be,
So what?
yeah,
Very big number. Okay.
yeah. When I worked for the MSPT 10 years ago, it was getting 300, 400. At that stop. So,
And that's huge.
yeah,
It's awesome.
all right.
No, this will be big. This will be big right off the bat. Coming here, definitely over 2,000.
Well, gentlemen, I will see you down there. We'll be rooting for you both, but secretly rooting for one over the other, depending on who I bet on. So
To be determined.
all right.
Good, man. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you out there. Good luck us.
All right, so there you have it. A big thank you to Stephen Jones and Stiner for taking the time. I look forward to seeing those guys down at Talking Stick, and I am actually going to put a bet on one of their teams.
Should we both take different sides?
Well, we could. I didn't tell them who I was going to take, but I am a little more partial to Steiner's team, to be honest with you.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I feel like I'm a little bit better friendly with Steve. I've had drinks with him, so I'll take Steve's side.
There we go. And then they also mentioned, because we're going to play the main event, I don't know if you're going to do it, but I'm thinking I'm going to do it. They're doing that $500 last longer, which could be pretty juicy as well. So I think I'm going to get in on that.
I haven't done last longers in a while, and the last one that I did was in Minnesota when I won. So I don't know. Maybe I should bet on myself, right? Hey, momentum. Who knows? I'll think about it though.
It'll be interesting. I know a lot of the MSPT regulars from the Midwest are flying out for Talking Stick. It is going to be an awesome event. If you're listening to this, there's still time. In fact, there's side events that are happening right now that we can recap. There's going to be plenty more going through the weekend. Right now, it looks like there's been 3 winners crowned, Kyna. The first event was the $800 tag team, 458 runners. Tong Shao and Deng Yuzhan took it down $40,000 for.
What a cool event too! $800 tag team. I bet that was a lot of fun. Was it like double stacks and then combine at the final table, or was it like switch?
I honestly don't know. I think some go, some properties do it different. I don't know exactly what it was down there, but I do know that I was looking through the results. So James Bechtel and Ryan Hughes finished third. So I'm assuming that's Jim Bechtel, the 1993 World Series of Poker main event champ. I know he's from that area. If he is down there when we're there, I'm going to try to get an interview with him for this very podcast. I think that would be awesome.
That would be very cool. There's going to be lots of heroes down there to choose from, So, hey, guys, if you're watching this and you're in Arizona, come find us. Like, maybe we can do a short video and just throw it on. It would be great.
Absolutely. Josh Reichard's already down there. He finished fourth in the tag team event with Trey Bartlett was his partner.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask whose partner was. Trey Bartlett. Yeah. Okay.
12K. I mean, already a good start there. There was.
Of course, Josh did. Of course, Josh already won 12K.
Brian Perzinski taking down the $300 Turbo No Limit Hold'em for $8,700, and Steven Dembiek taking down the $300 PLO. He's a Wisconsin guy for almost $6,200. So 3 events in the books already, 4 winners because of the tag team gold cards, and plenty more to come. Kyna and I will be there, as we mentioned. Look out on our social media. Of course, next episode we'll recap the Diamond Championship $1 million guarantee. We'll also get the chance to recap the event that takes place right after, because I'm driving from Arizona back to Vegas for the MSPT Poker Bowl 10, February 4th through the 7th. This is the annual event since 2017 that takes place to coincide with the NFL Super Bowl. Kyna, your Bears did fall a little short.
I don't want to talk about it. I thought I was pretty sure the Super Bowl was canceled actually last week. They just canceled the whole thing. They said no Super Bowl this year.
Well, this one is a $1,600 buy-in, $1 million guarantee, and I'm excited about this one because I was there working for the MSPT in 2017, also worked the event in 2018, was the start. We launched this when I was part of the tour, and to see it go now through coming up on Poker Bowl 10, I think is just pretty incredible. Last year got 892 runners, massive turnout, over 1.2 million in the prize pool. I expect similar this go around, and yeah, should be fun. We always talk about it. We love the Venetian. We record in their studio. We might end up recording when I'm in town. I would assume so.
Yeah, we should just do that. That would be fun.
Well, Kyna, aside from that, looking ahead, you've got MSPT Potawatomi, which I'm excited about because that is right in my neck of the woods. And actually right before that is Jack's Cleveland, the Ohio Poker State Championship, February 10th through the 16th. And then in March, you have both the Grand Falls in Larchwood, Iowa, which is essentially Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then Riverside Casino in Riverside, Iowa, south of Iowa City, where you and I have both had success as well. So some good stops coming up.
Yeah, lots of good Midwest stops, lots of fun to be had. I mean, some big ones, and they're always a good time. It's always great to see those Minnesota guys.
Well, that's going to do it then for episode 12 of the podcast. I'm going to see you in just a couple days down at Talking Stick for the MSPT Diamond Championship. Are you going to wear that jacket? I know it's got a lucky jacket. It might be a little warm there.
I know. It was like, this is the warmest jacket I have. I just bought it. It's kind of new. It's Aviator Nation. And it's, what's sick about it is it has like this mantra inside that says like, when you wear this jacket, you're actually like more awesome and more powerful. And so I didn't even realize that until like the second day. I'm like, oh, interesting. So, it's my very special jacket. I don't know that I'll wear it in Arizona though. Obviously it's nicer weather there. It's not freezing when you walk outside. So, but I'll probably bring it. Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the negative degrees here in Wisconsin, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Well, in Colorado, it was like 18 degrees, but that's, come on, that's still very, very cold. And I did not like it outside. And here in Vegas, too, feel bad for us. It's like 55 degrees. Very cool.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 12. We'll see you at Talking Stick. It's going to be a lot of fun. The next episode should be a blast. Thank you for joining us on this one. Like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review, leave us some comments on the YouTube video. We'll interact as best we can. I'm Chad Holloway. She's Kyna England. And the MSPT podcast is like the MSPT itself, suited for players.